Hello there, my name is Armando. How long does it take? It's a question I get asked very often, too often even, and I always find it interesting. How long does it take to get in shape, to lose weight, to feel better in your own body? How long does it take to build a routine, to change something in your life? And the thing is that on the surface, it seems like a perfectly reasonable question. In fact, it sounds practical, logical even, but the more I hear it, the more I notice something subtle underneath it. Because the question itself already assumes something. It assumes that change is something you reach and then you're done. Almost like a destination. You arrive, you achieve the result, and then the process is complete. But real life rarely works that way. But okay, let's imagine something simple. Let's say that, okay, you did achieve your ideal body in 3 weeks, exactly as you imagined and as promised. What happens next? If your habits don't change, if your routines stay the same, the results you achieved will slowly disappear. And not because you failed, but because the conditions that created the result are suddenly no longer there. And this is where the question begins to shift. Because perhaps the real question here is not how long does it take to achieve something, but rather what needs to change so that this lasts? And that is a very different question if you think about it, because it moves away from a timeline and toward behavior. It moves away from results and toward creating patterns. And I think this is where the world we live in quietly influences how we think. If you observe the world today, we've become used to speed. Things arrive super quickly, problems get solved quickly, everything feels immediate, and without noticing, we begin to expect the same from ourselves. We begin to expect change to almost behave like a delivery service, to have predictable timelines, clear deadlines, fast outcomes, but human systems are not built that way. Your body is not an app. Your habits are not a transaction. Your well-being is not a product that arrives once you've done the right things. It's a process, a slower, quieter process, and often nothing is wrong when change takes time. The timeline is simply unrealistic. So instead of asking yourselves, how long does it take to achieve something? Perhaps you could experiment with a different question. What would this look like if I wanted it to last in my life? Because that question changes the pace, it changes the expectations, and it changes the way you approach change altogether. Does that resonate with your life experience and does it make sense to you?